All right, on this episode of the LPDS, we get into some LPDS Spearhead updates, a little bit of that. Obviously, get into more JE, some Jeffy updates, the file release updates, and the craziness behind that, and my frustration with all that. I recap my road trip back to the LPDS compound with JPL3 and the fun and shenanigans we had with that trip. We're in the Junction. And of course, we got a nice little cage fact for you. All that's coming up right now. All right, Jabronis, we're back. Welcome back to Libretti Podcast Diary Show. I'm your host, Libretti, the show that talks about nothing and tries to find the lessons in everything. We have a good time doing it. Hope everybody had a good week. If you're watching in YouTube land, you can see I am finally back at the LPDS compound in Texas. It's good to be back. Talk more about that in the Junction, but it's been a busy week doing a lot of prep for this work trip. So by the time you're listening to this, I'm on this work trip this week, and I've been doing prep, the last week to get ready for that. Not real happy about going, but it'll be good to get it over and done with, and then I can be back full throttle with Spearhead stuff. I got some meetings with people in the Houston area set up to talk business, if you will. And we're going to be ramping up the content with the Libretti Leadership Lab and all that stuff. So please, if you're into that, if you're into the leadership improvement space, or you know anybody who is and is looking for any sort of improvement in life whatsoever, send them over to Spearhead Leadership, to the Libretti Leadership Lab on YouTube, and then obviously the Instagram pages and stuff, because I want to get more eyeballs on the content, and just even if people aren't calling to do work with me at all, just to get it's free value, folks. And if you don't think I'm the capable person to provide any value to you, I know there's people out there in my life who will never admit it to my face, but absolutely think that they're more capable of doing something like this than I am, and that's fine with me. I'm okay with that. But even if you're one of those, uh, tell your friends and enemies. Tell your enemies to go tune in to Libretti Leadership Lab and all things Spearhead Leadership, because we're trying to ramp up eyeballs with that. Even with the LPDS too, we got the baseball streams about to be coming soon. So also, I haven't gotten any hotline calls in a while, and it's always the same people calling in, so I appreciate it, and I hope they don't feel obligated to call in, because I know, you know, that gets cumbersome. You feel like you're the you have to, like, if I don't, nobody will. It's okay if you don't anymore. People like the Mickey Mouse guy, Tony Saccone. I always appreciate it, but don't feel like you have to do it just to get hotline calls in here. We'll get some other people up and going on the hotline, but tell your friends and enemies about it. 202-670-1114. I just put it on more forms and stuff that I signed up for whatever. I always use the hotline, so I'm hoping people call in and leave hotline voicemails on there thinking that they're, I don't know what they're going to be thinking, but I hope they leave a voicemail. So anyway, call that in. I don't really have a lot to update this week in life. I'll talk about my trip back here in the Junction. Got some funny stuff with JPL3 I want to touch on very quickly. Otherwise, not much going on. Like I said, a lot of work prep for this trip I'm on, and a lot of behind the scenes prep for content work I'm gonna be doing with Spearhead as well as future outreach and stuff like that. So this was more of a behind the scenes effort the past week since I've been back. Plus, I got to get my house back up in order and stuff like that. It's raining right now, so I'm hoping the power doesn't go out like it has done in the past. I also hope there's no leaks or anything in the roof or anything like that. So anyway, the only thing I want to touch on, two quick things. One, spring training is about to start. Preseason for baseball is about to start. So I'm getting ready to do those broadcasts come baseball season. I don't really have a name for it. I'll probably be doing the lives on YouTube from the LPDS YouTube page. There's really no way for me to do them live via like Spotify or Apple, I don't think, simultaneously. So it's going to be on YouTube. I'm gonna be toying around with the setup. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little small table behind my couch in my living room so I can be watching the game on the big screen. And then you'll have the stream, my ugly mug to stream from because I can't put the game on the actual stream itself. But we'll be doing, I'll be doing the thing there, probably starting once a week. See how it goes. I'll pick like a game of the week maybe, see what's up, or just some big games. I'm gonna try to work my schedule to make sure I'm available for the or for the opening day. I gotta look at the dates on that, see what's up with that, and we're gonna try to have some fun with it. So stand by for that. Doing some, like I said, a lot of behind the scenes work preparing for that and practicing, get reps in and stuff like that. So, um, the only other thing I want to keep touching on because I feel like my tinfoil hat's going on again. I feel like the media and the people with their heads in the sand are going to continue to try to bury this with news stories and smoke screens and what have yous. But I'm still digging through the Epstein files. I'm still keeping up to speed on all the news stories and updates going on with that. I don't know if anybody saw the Pam Bondi like deposition or whatever the hell she was doing. That absolute dumpster fire of a deposition she did to Congress and Senate. Like I said, I don't remember exactly who all was there, but the deflection and the gaslighting and all that crap. I mean, like I said in the past, it's not a coincidence that the woman who was in a place of power, legal power in Florida during Epstein's sweetheart deal is now in charge of the whole, the DOJ and getting this stuff out there and investigating it further. It's not a coincidence at all. Okay? If you think it is, I'm not going to judge you, but you know, it seems like you just don't want to admit. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe people are putting their heads in the sand because they don't want to admit that there's so many people in power and celebrity that are part of this despicable, demonic situation going on. And I got news for you. It's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. Because if you think there's intelligence organizations that are not involved in this, again, you probably got your heads in the sand. And I know there's going to be eye rolls and this and that, but people have been talking about this crap. The crazies have been talking about this crap for years, over a decade. And everybody thought we were crazy and it's ludicrous. It's so crazy and cockamamie. There's no way it's true. Eye rolling the shit out of all of us all the time. And now you're reading through these files and you're seeing the stuff out there. And that's just the stuff that was released. There are still millions of documents out there that have not been released. And even the stuff that was released has been strategically redacted, not to protect the victims. I don't know if you saw one of the files. It was like an email document sent from an attorney. It redacted the attorney's contact information And then there was an entire list of victims that came forward in witness testimony to the Department of Justice. They released all those names of the victims that wanted to remain anonymous and under the table for protection. That was unredacted, which is crazy. The whole time they talk about, oh, we got to protect the victims in this. They don't give a shit. They're protecting the people that are involved in this. And I just wish more people were banding together to bring light to this so we can try to do something about it. Because our Department of Justice isn't going to do anything about it, and I have a feeling I know why. I think it's because it's an intelligence operation that's still ongoing, and it's going to implicate full-on agencies. Easy, Randy. We got lightning and thunder. Randy doesn't like that. He thinks it's fireworks. But that's what I think is happening. You can call me tinfoil hat. You can call me nuts. I know there's a lot of people I know in the military that think I'm nuts for this. Think, oh, the government's not capable of doing stuff like this. You're right. Most of the politicians are not. If you notice, most of the politicians and people in power that are involved right now, the individual names, they're suspects of the disgusting stuff, the trafficking and the prostitution and the child stuff. They're not the behind-the-scenes orchestrators of the operation. And I've worked enough with government organizations to know that you can have incompetent congressmen and senators and presidents, but the intelligence operations and the intelligence people in power can still do a lot of things. They're capable of a lot of stuff. So to say, you know me, I always say our government is completely inept. They can't even run the post office. I get it. But they're not the ones doing this. It's individual organizations within the government that have the capability, and they always have. And that's not crazy tinfoil hat talking. That's factual things that have come out over the past 2-3 decades. Don't forget, Operation Northwoods was a real thing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can look that up. That was a real planned operation that JFK didn't sign off on. And this was in the 60s. And if you read up on that, it's going to make you scratch your head about stuff that's actually happened since then. Talk about the government can't pull stuff like this off. Operation Northwoods was an operation planned by the CIA and some other members of the Department of Defense or Department of War, whatever they were called back then, as a false flag operation to get us at war with the communists, Cuba, the Russians, what have you. And it involved hijacking airplanes and blowing them up, flying them into things. That was in the 60s. Okay? So all the people eye rolling and calling me crazy for this crap, that's fine. I'll still be your friend. I'm not going to judge you as long as you don't judge me, and we can still be pals and hang out and do whatever. But this is not just cockamamie crap we talk about here on the LPDS. It's based from evidence, from history, from things that have happened in the past. Because what is the saying? Those who do not remember history are doomed to repeat it. So call me crazy, whatever you want to do. The files also reveal that Epstein was involved in the Iran-Contras situation, which was another conspiracy that ended up being true in the 80s. Started with funding and supplying the Mujahideen and then the Contras down in South America, wherever they were. A whole big orchestrated plan of under-the-table dealings with the CIA to get them money and funding, and they combined both of those because they needed to get Congress and the Senate to pass on the whole thing. Okay, this is This guy, this Epstein fellow, this shit runs deep, and it's brutal and disgusting and deplorable that so many people have been covering it up for one reason or another, and the only people that are suffering from it are the victims and their families and the American people as well. And the more we're loud about it, the more we dig in and educate ourselves about it, the 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 more of a chance we have, even if it's only a tit hairs more chance of finally seeing justice, maybe. I'm okay with that. That's fine by me. Any improvement towards success is good for me in this regard because I want to see the whole thing burned down. So if you think I'm crazy, you can go on the DOJ website and you can actually just, they have a little search function. You can search people's names, you can search documents, you can search whatever, and it pops it up for you. And you can read through it yourself. And there's a whole bunch of crap in there. Like I said, it was like 3 million plus documents that they released, images, files, emails, what have you. Okay, this is not just crazy big nose Libretti making crap up anymore. Go look up Nic Cage. You'll see what I think I discussed that already about Nic Cage being in the files and how the only search that I saw was something related to property that they wanted to buy that Nic Cage owned, and then there was a an email that Jeffy sent to himself. It was links to all these Quora.com questions that he asked. And one of the questions was, why doesn't Nic Cage just quit already? And if you didn't think the guy was a piece of shit then, that put it over for me. The guy wants Nic Cage to quit. Obviously something's wrong with this dude. Obviously he's a bad guy. And I say is because that's another crazy tinfoil hat thing, is that I don't think the guy's dead. I certainly am not 100% sure that he's dead. There is enough questions and gaps in there to at least leave that door open. And I think anybody who has any level of certainty about his death and that there's no suspects in this and that, like I said, I think those are heads in the sand type people. I think those are heads in the sand type people that I don't know if they just don't want to admit. They don't want to admit that we exist in a world like this. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not judging. You choose what you want to care about and believe or dig into. That's fine by me. But the LPDS cares about this, and we're digging into it. And it still boggles my mind that people who have kids don't care more about stuff like this. But anyway, let's just move on because I'm sure I'll have more updates about this guy next week as you keep digging through the millions of documents in there, connecting dots and revealing more bullshit. So we'll just move on and get to the good stuff instead because I like the good stuff better. So let's just get into it. Let's step into the cage.
Okay, let's run.
All right. Today's Into the Cage segment is sponsored by Pizza Fingers. Everybody knows there's no better meal combination than bowling alley chicken fingers and a fresh hot Domino's pizza. But good luck finding a bowling alley who will let you order outside pizza so you can enjoy the perfect combination. Well, now you don't have to worry about it because Tony Rigatoni has done it again with Pizza Fingers. Tony and his goon squad got busy in the lab once again to recreate the deliciousness of a Domino's pie, breaded it, deep fried it, sliced it up, and created the perfect combo all in one, the pizza fingers. Now you can enjoy perfection in every fat, heart congesting, delicious bite. So to get your grubby little paws on some pizza fingers today, visit your local Wawa freezer section, and if you use the promo code Breaded Bliss, you'll get 29% off your first pack of pizza fingers. This is an empire, folks. Okay? If you're not familiar with how empires are built, we're living through one right now. Because Tony Rigatoni is single-handedly taking over the TV dinner, Super Bowl snack, fatso instant meal world by fingering everything. And the Totino's pizza guys better watch out. Hot Pocket better watch out, because once they get their hands on pizza fingers, they are never buying that slop again. Nobody wants to sit and eat a disgusting, just gelatinous, cold on the inside, scorching hot on the outside Hot Pocket made from fake ingredients, when they can get a pizza finger. It's real pizza. It's real bread, real, KFC breading, all in one, right there for you, hot and fresh out of the oven. Anyway, the Cage fact. This is more of a Cage update again. The official trailer for Spider-Man Noir has come out, has been released by Amazon Prime. Like a minute and a half long, 2-minute long trailer. 15 people sent it to me. All people I know, I follow me on Instagram and are friends with me, and all of whom sent this trailer to me after I posted the trailer myself on my Instagram story. So like I said all the time, I always want you to send this stuff to me when you see anything Nic Cage related, but there's a 99.99% chance I already seen it. But I'm here for that 0.01%. I would also like to remind people that I do have Instagram stories. You can pay attention that way, and you'll see ahead of time, so you won't look like a complete dunce. But keep sending that stuff. I like it. But if you really want all the Nic Cage, updates and facts, just tune into the LPDS. I can't tell you how many of my friends will send me stuff that we legit cover in the LPDS week in and week out. It's like you'll get it all. You don't have to go digging through the internet. It's right here for you. So I don't know why you're not tuning in. Anyway, the trailer came out. Tremendous trailer. I like the little slogan they have, the little catchphrases. You know how Spider-Man is, with great power comes great responsibility? Well, this catchphrase was, with no power comes no responsibility. I thought that was pretty funny. The trailer was in black and white, but at the end of the trailer, it says that you can, I forgot I think they called it the option that you can view it in True Hue, HUE, True Hue. I guess that's their moniker that they're using, their branded, copyrighted tagline for in color version. But it seems like it's going to come out both in black and white and in color for us to choose from, which means I will be watching both. And I'm excited for that to come out. May 27th, it's set to release, season 1. Don't forget, this is a series, folks. So we're going to have appointment television of Nic Cage. That, I mean, if that doesn't get you excited, Why are you even tuning into this show? That's probably why nobody tunes into this show. But man, does that pump me up? Appointment weekly television. I haven't sat down for appointment television like this since I was a kid on TGI Fridays, watching Full House, Family Matters, Step by Step, Boy Meets World, what have you, dinosaurs, all of it. I didn't even watch Seinfeld when it was live. I was too young. Parents wouldn't let me. So I'm excited for this. This is appointment TV. I don't know if they're going to put it all out in one shot. One hand, I want them to because I'm a binger. I like to wait for it to all be complete and then I watch it all in one shot. But on the other hand, I also like the idea of like every week I'm going to get some new Nic Cage footage in my life. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, May 27th. Mark your calendars. That's the Cage fact. You're welcome. All right, moving over to the Junction. We'll spin the logo up. So JPL3 and I drove down from New Jersey back to Texas. He wanted to come. He doesn't like that I drive alone and nobody else comes with me. So while he doesn't actually do any of the driving himself and our bathroom breaks take a little longer, it does make the trip better and easier for me because then I can go use the bathroom, I can get food and snacks, I can get gas without worrying about simultaneously taking care of Randy and taking extra time, unpacking into the hotel, packing again. All that stuff makes things a lot better, and it's good company. So while I do the driving myself, I don't care about. I prefer driving anyway. Um, I do like doing road trips with other people. This is a road trip. When I do it solo, this is just to get through. I try to get it done as quick as possible, but this one, these are always enjoyable. Now, on the drive down, we had to take a couple extra bathroom breaks. So I always make sure that we find good gas stations or rest stops to take care of business. I don't take JPL3 to some of the absolute dumpster holes I'd use just for a bathroom break. I go to the nice places when I want to get food and snacks or feed the dog and rest for a second. But if I just have to take a leak or what have you, just give me a hole. I don't care about that. I don't want to do that to JPL3. So we always find a good spot. Now, we were in day one of the trip down, took it in 2 days, actually went quicker, less traffic, no storms really, no construction that we had to deal with. So over each day of the trip went quicker, but it's still 2 days. So day one, we're driving down. We're in Maryland, Virginia area. Now, I am familiar with the regional quality gas stations of the area. Up in the New Jersey, PA kind of spots, you get the Wawas of the world. Those are the good gas stations as far as snacks and food goes, not so much on the gas prices. And then there's, each region has its own. There's we talked about this in the past, the Loves, some Circle K's, obviously the Buckies, the Buccos. And then in Maryland, there's another one I like. And JPL, I think, is familiar with it, but I don't think he realized that I was familiar with their game. And he treated it like a Buccos. He's heard about it from others, but he's never experienced it before. So we're driving down to Maryland, and he sees the sign. I saw it in my periffs, and I didn't need gas at the time, but he saw it. He mentioned that he wanted to stop because he wanted to take a leak. And he said, "Hey, let's stop I'm going to go to the bathroom. You can get a coffee or whatever you want, but I heard good things about this Skeets. The Skeets gas stations have pretty good food and bathrooms, so there's a Skeets coming up at this next exit. You want to stop at the Skeets?" And I don't know why. It was the same thing with Bucky's Buccos. It's not funny it's not a funny mispronunciation or naming it wrong in theory, but for whatever reason, just thinking about somebody naming an entire gas station franchise of a well reputable one, mind you, naming it Skeets, and there's no like apostrophe. It's just Skeets, like the plural of skeet. Like Lil Jon, skeet skeet. That's what I thought it was talking about. He wanted to go stop at Skeets. The real name is Sheets. And like I said, on paper, it's not that funny of a difference. He can't see as well. We're driving past a small road sign. The H could have easily looked like a lowercase k. But for whatever reason, I just thought it was funny, and I hung on to it. We had a good laugh, and we stopped at Skeets for a coffee and a quick pee. The rest of the trip was more than uneventful. I think the only thing more eventful was we stopped at an actual just a rest stop for pee, and a couple of truck drivers were in there smoking reefer in the stalls together. I don't know why they all went to the handicap stall together, door open, standing in just the stall, ripping pots. They could have just done that, I don't know, outside. But anyway, the trip itself was uneventful. Then my father stayed a day because we got in Saturday evening. He stayed Sunday and left Monday morning so that we had some time for him to unpack, unwind a little bit. And then also he wanted to watch the Super Bowl, so we watched it at the compound here. And that was also pretty uneventful. He didn't really understand Bad Bunny. He didn't know who he was, so I explained to him who Bad Bunny was based on how I know Bad Bunny. And I said, this is a guy who is a singer or a musical artist, like a hip hop guy, a Latin reggaeton type of guy, whatever, club guy. But he was in WrestleMania, and I know him from WWE, and he was also in some movies, and he does acting. But he's a Spanish Latin, not Spanish, Hispanic Latin type singer. And I don't think any of his songs are English. And we had a whole back and forth about why they did this and that. And I couldn't care less. We both said, well, I don't care. It's just whether you like the show or not based on the entertainment value, and didn't care for it. Couldn't, like, not that I hated it. It was like, it's not my type of music. But so many people were up in arms about it. I'm going to go watch the Turning Point USA All American version, the MAGA version with Kid Rock. And I like Kid Rock. I like his old song. I didn't tune into it. I wasn't going to go and put on YouTube just to watch a 5 minute show or whatever it was, 15-minute halftime show. Didn't feel like it. I don't care about that. I wasn't watching the Super Bowl for that. I was watching it for the football. That's stuff I never cared about. And I don't get why people care more about that. I think I have a tinfoil hat idea on why people do, because we're told to. Whole bread and circus thing. Be up in arms about stupid crap like that, but let the whole Epstein thing slide under the radar. This one thing I did forget to mention is there's rumors going around that Trumpy Bear is going to have a big speech announcing proof that aliens and UFOs and stuff exist, and we've known about it the whole time, again, as a smokescreen to cover up the whole Epstein crap. I don't know if that's true, if that's going to happen, but I said this to some friends before. I said, these files are going to drop. People are going to get up in arms. It's going to be all over the airwaves on the internet. It's not mainstream media, of course. And they're going to try to do something to get our attention away from it. I don't know what, war with Iran, oil going out of Venezuela to Israel or something. Maybe Kim Jong-un is going to pop off, something in China. I don't know what exactly. Maybe the UFO stuff. Who knows? But I digress. Anyway, people are up in arms about half the world is, this is terrible. Why would they have him? Why can't he speak English at the halftime show? This is America's sport, blah, blah, blah. And other half of people are like, I loved it. You need to be more tolerant and this and that. Blah. No, who cares? I don't think the guy actually sings any songs of his in English. He is a Latin singer. He's a Latin pop artist. His songs are in Spanish. Who gives a shit? Why are you watching the sport for the halftime show to begin with? The halftime show hasn't been good basically since Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson. Well, Whitney Houston didn't do it. She did the national anthem. But Michael Jackson, Creed, those are basically the two best. And then when Timberlake pulled off Janet Jackson's bra thingy and showed her titty, and she popped one out for the fellas, that's it. Halftime shows are forgettable at best. So I don't know why people care about that stuff. Reality, I know why, because we're told to, we're brainwashed to. But logically speaking, it doesn't make any sense. Whether you like the guy or not, I don't know anything about his politics. I couldn't care less. I don't pay attention to people in the limelight for their politics. So I don't get it. Anyway, luckily JPL wasn't too up in arms about that. He was mostly sleeping through it anyway. He just hears something he doesn't know and doesn't, it's not his type of music. So he's like, why are you watching this crap? He's like, well, it's the halftime show. That's why. I'm just not changing the channel. That's all. But we enjoyed the game together. Now, there was one thing I I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, but JPL3 is one of the things he's known for besides being a staunch defender of justice is breaking chairs. Every chair he's ever sat in that was his, he's broken. And what I mean by that is it's not just somebody's random chair that he sits in once. Usually those are okay. But his chair, his recliner, his car seat, driver's side seat, everything always breaks. And it's mainly because something will happen where like the lever, he doesn't pull it all the way it's supposed to, or maybe it's just not, as smooth as he'd like. And instead of just being easy with it and trying again, he starts cranking on a lever or pushing back on the seat to get it to recline or whatever. And the next thing you know, something actually snaps and breaks. And then we're stuck with it. Like then he'll duct tape it together, jerry rig it so the lever kind of works. And then we have to get a new chair. Have to get it replaced. In fact, they should be getting a new recliner any day now delivered because his recliner has been broken for months now because he broke it. Well, he comes in and the first thing he does, now if you haven't been to my house, which most of you haven't, I have one solo recliner that's a little bit of a rocker too, and it reclines back. And then I have a couch that's a double recliner. It's a 3-person couch, and the two ends are recliners. So I have 3 recliners for him to choose from. The one solo recliner is not good for him right now because he's got a bum knee. He's having his knee surgery coming up at the end of this month. And the spring action to close it is too strong. It's too tense. He can't do it. It takes effort for me to do it. So I told him, I was like, don't sit on that. You'll never be able to get out of it right now with your knee. The other couch has a very clear section that proves this is where I sit. This is where JPL4 sits. The color is off a little bit because I sit in it. I wore out the fabric more so than the other parts of the couch. Very clear. You can just look at it and see. And then my entire command center is there. I have the end table with my laptop, the remote control, my coasters, and my snack table is right there so I can slide it over for meals. In the middle of the couch on my left, the middle seat that nobody sits in, it's a non-reclining seat. I have my Sticks controller, my Sticks headset, my Sticks hat, because I put the hat on, or I have a paper towel that I put on my head to put the headset on so that I'm not greasing up the top of the headset because I'm bald and I'm greasy. And I have my keyboard for my TV because my TV is a computer. So I log into it that way with this Bluetooth keyboard. That's in the middle. And then there's a completely untouched, fresh end that's also a recliner. And where does JPL decide to sit? Right at the command center. And what does JPL3 proceed to do? He proceeds to crank on the lever of the recliner because it's not closing the way he wants, and he needs to get up to go to the bathroom. And he's cranking and cranking and cranking. Luckily, I stopped him before it was too late because he was this close. If you're looking at YouTube land, this close to breaking my command center recliner, forcing me to move command centers, which is not something I want to do. So then he goes up and goes to the bathroom. Now he had to take some medication, prep medication. I don't know what it's for the surgery. It's not a drug. It's like a water pill or whatever to flush his system out and what have you. So he's going to the bathroom a lot more. So he took it later at night and he's like, listen, I'm going to sit up and stay up a little bit longer because I want to hit the bathroom enough time so I don't have to wake up in the middle of the night out of the bed to go to the bathroom. So we stayed up a little longer. I stayed up with him because my TV, like I said, is off a computer, so it's a little convoluted. So I wanted to be there to turn it off and help him change channels and stuff. So I stayed up a little longer on the non-command center side of the couch. And of course he falls asleep, naturally. It's late at night. That's what JPL does. He's in a recliner. He's conked out. I didn't care as much because I had control of the TV so I can watch my programs. And he didn't have the remote clutched to him. But I wanted to share this because everybody gave me crap on our drive up. And I told you that the story where I thought he was dead and shit himself. And I wasn't sure about waking him up because I didn't want to give him a heart attack. Everyone gave me shit for that. Just wake him up. He's not going to have a heart attack. Well, let me tell you something. You were technically right, but you were almost very wrong. Because we got to about 3:30 in the morning, and I was like, it's time for us to go to sleep. He's clearly done taking leaks for the night. Let's get him out and go to bed. And he is out in a coma. And I look over and I said, well, I'm home. I don't have to worry about pulling off to the side of the road and calling cops or anything. So I guess I'll just try to wake him up. And I did the whole, slamming on the couch. Hey, ha, ha, ha. And finally I just belted out, hey, way louder than that. I didn't want to blow up the mic here. And he pops up, eyes wide. I thought his eyes were going to pop out of his head. His mustache is flailing out everywhere, and he's panting now. Hard panting, getting his heart rate up. You can hear his heartbeat from where I was sitting, and he kept saying, what's the matter? What's going on? What's the matter? What's the matter? And finally, I just go, hey, I'm just waking you up so we can go to bed. It's 3:30. And he goes, don't do that. You'll give me a heart attack. After he gave me all that shit, after everybody gave me shit, even him, he said, why wouldn't you wake me up in the car? And I told him, I didn't want to give you a heart attack. He goes, oh, you were just going to let me sit there and die and not give me a eulogy right there and mourn me right there? You were just going to let me die? You weren't going to wake me up? All that shit. As soon as I wake him up, he gives me shit that I was going to give him a heart attack, which is the exact thing I was worried about the first time. So, yeah, we were technically right this time, but How many more times am I going to get away with that before the heart attack happens and I'm the guy who kills my own father and makes him shit his pants? So we have to come up with a better way to wake him up, folks, because we're not doing that again. You don't have to clean up a dead guy's shit. I'll have to do it. Or my mother will have to do it. We're not doing that. We got to come up with a better way. Maybe I dip his finger in hot water so he pees himself and he feels that and he wakes up. I don't know. But we're not yelling at him anymore. His heart can't take it. And I don't have enough toilet paper. Speaking of toilet paper, before we leave, JPL3, I guess wanted to make sure I remembered him after he was gone, back home in Jersey, not gone from this earth. So Monday morning comes around. He's got like a 9:30 a.m. flight. We wake up early. He gets up a little early so he can get ready, pack his bag, brush his teeth, use the bathroom, whatever. We pack up. We go up. Drop him off. Flight's okay. He's good. I come back to the house, obviously. Now, it's Monday. I got to work. So I'm working in my office. Now, the guest bathroom that he uses is right next to my office because this is a bedroom here that I just made into an office. So when I have to take a leak, I use that bathroom. It's closer than my bathroom. So we're talking 1 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe, Central Time. I got to take a leak. I go in there. I take a leak. I don't take a dumpy, just a leak. I use a little TP to clean the seat, clean everything around, make sure there's no frag anywhere. I'm talking 2 squares. I count my squares. Talking like 2 squares tops. Maybe 4. Probably just 2. And I throw it in there and I flush. And wouldn't you know it, the water doesn't go down. It gets up to the top of the brim. It doesn't spill over. It gets up to the top before it stops. And now I'm sitting there wondering, what the hell's going on? There is 0 chance that I clog this with clear hydrated PP and 4 TP squares. 0 chance. And you know me. I've talked about this before. I am the king of knowing about toilets clogging and unclogging. There's nobody better around to do it besides hiring a plumber who's a professional. And even then, I think I'm probably better than them because I don't do it with any of their tools. I unclog thousands of toilets without the tools that they use. They have mechanical snakes and compression powered plungers and all this professional machinery to guarantee toilets and pipes get unclogged. That's great. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm in the trenches with whatever I have around me. I'm the Bear Grylls of unclogging toilets. You could throw me in any situation, any clog situation, and I'm going to unclog that toilet by any means necessary with whatever I got around me. Even if it means sticking my hand in there and doing it like that. And what's crazy and probably more impressive is I'd say 90% of the toilets I've had to unclog in my time have been without plungers available. Maybe it's 75%. Let's be a little bit more conservative here, Sargi. 75%, certainly over half, and I never had to stick my bare hand in there. I've gone glove hand because there was gloves there in a particular bathroom one time. I've gone rubber glove hand before, but never bare hand. But I will if necessary. So I get on the horn. Now, when I call home, I have to call my mom's cell phone because they have a landline, but they can't hear on the landline. I usually call a landline because then they can both get on. They can both answer the phone and talk, whoever. But they can't hear on the landline anymore because it's a cordless, and they're not going to get a better landline because nobody calls there anyway. I'm literally the only person who uses that number. So I call my mom's cell. I don't call my dad's because usually when I call home on Sundays, he's either out grocery shopping or he's taking his own dumpies or he's napping or whatever, and she's always going to answer the phone. So I call her up. I said, "Is he there?" She's like, "Yeah, he's, I don't know what he's doing, looking at Star Trek porn or something in his office." I said, "Go ahead and ask him." She goes, "Why? What's the matter? What did he do?" I said, "Well, first of all, he almost cost you a new couch because he almost broke my recliner and he was going to have to pay for it, which means you were going to have to pay for it." I said, "But ask him what he did to my toilet this morning before he left." And she starts laughing because she knows JPL3 he's a clogger. That's the third thing he's known for. Justice, breaking chairs, and clogging toilets. And he's an oppressive clogger. We've talked about this in the past. This is something if I were him, I'd brag about. This is not me dogging on my old man. It's wildly impressive, his ability to clog a toilet. No matter how many courtesy flushes he does, he's clogging toilets all the time. In fact, there are a lot of the ways I've learned and honed my skill set of unclogging toilets without a plunger have been because of him. Not because I didn't have a plunger, because the plungers didn't work. It created what Creature knows from his time with rooming with me on road trips and baseball. He's created an Adobe paste in the toilet a lot of times. And anybody who knows when you create a dumpy of shit Adobe paste with the toilet paper, you can build a house with that stuff, with that putty. It's not going anywhere. And you need to break it down. You can't just forcefully plunge it out. So I've had to find creative ways to break that down. So she starts laughing, obviously. She's having a great time. Because we can't believe it. She's like, there's no way. That's what he does. He just clogs toilet. He did it in December when he was here. I think we talked about it. Randy, stop licking over there. I hear him. So she gets him on, she walks over to the office where he's at. And I can hear him in the background because they got to talk loud to each other because they're both deaf. She goes, "Hey, what did you do to his toilet?" And he goes, "I thought I told him when I went this morning, the water wasn't going down as fast. Something was wrong with the toilet." And that was his thing. Something was wrong with the toilet. Again, this guy is known for clogging toilets. There is no chance that he doesn't know a clogged toilet when he experiences it. And unfortunately for him, being a lawyer and a good litigator and interrogator, he raised his kids around that. So for some reason, he thought that I was just going to believe his bullshit story of, "I thought I told you the water wasn't going down as fast." He was trying to spin it as, "Oh, you were gone for so long without flushing the toilets. The toilet didn't function as it was supposed to, and that's why the water was going down slower because of inactivity." That's what he was that was the web he was weaving to not have to put his hand up and admit, "I did it again. I did it again." The bowel bandit struck again, and I clogged another toilet. Didn't want to admit it. And then he said, "I thought I told you on the drive up. Hey, you better pay attention. You better check that toilet because the water's not going down." Yeah, and I know why. I know exactly why it's not going down too, old man. It's because you Adobe pasted it up again. You might as well have put concrete in there and let it sit and carve your initials in it. And then off you went into the sunset, back to the motherland, and left me with the ground zero to have to take care of once again. And that's what I did. I took care of it once again. And I wish I had a log, no pun intended, of all the toilets I've unclogged in my time. Because I'm telling you, any plumber, a professional, a licensed plumber with years of experience will look at my track record and be like, this guy's the best around. They'll call me to unclog toilets. And I have JPL3 to thank mostly for that. And, a good amount of JPL4 myself as well. Because I'm no stranger to clogging toilets. I think I got so good at unclogging toilets. Between the two of us, we're clogging. And you can ask the creature. We're clogging. So, anyway, that was the trip back. And we're talking 3 days total of JPL, and that's what we got. We got a new gas station franchise that we got to go to, Skeets. Skeets and Bucky's are on the stops in the future now. We also stopped at this one place. It had a place. It had I don't know what you would call it. Sort of like a Cajun chicken joint inside the gas station. It was actually mainly just this sort of restaurant. And then there was a small area for gas station type concessions, drinks, cigs, tobacco products, what have you. But mainly it was this place called A Bear's. I forgot, chicken or whatever. I don't remember exactly what it was called. Bayou Barbecue. I don't know. But it was like, some of you will get this. If people from Florida, from the Central Florida area, Oviedo, by UCF, by Central Florida College or whatever, University of Central Florida, whatever it's called. There's a chicken joint that I've only gone to next to a gas station called Huey Magoo's. It was similar to that, but Cajun style, and it had other stuff too. It had boudin, which is like this like Cajun rice filled stuffed sausage thingy. How you doing? I don't exactly know how to describe it, but it is tasty. They had fried pork grinds. I forgot what they're called again. Pork crispies. I don't remember what they call them, but it was Cajun food made to order. And we got these. I got this spicy chicken sandwich. This chicken breast that they used was like the size of my computer screen. It was giant, and they put a nice little like hot honey and spices in there. It hit the spot. Let me tell you. And it was a gas station, no less. And JPL got a grilled chicken sandwich there too. Also, looked very good. But anyway, I digress again. We got new gas stations to hit. We got a beat up recliner that's on the brink of being broken permanently. I might put police tape on it the next time he comes down, so he automatically knows to go to the other side. If he breaks the other side, I don't care. Nobody else sits there. Nobody comes over. Nobody's sitting there. So maybe I'll do that to protect it. And then we had another clog. And the plunger was in there from December. Usually I had the plunger in my bathroom because that's the bathroom I take dumpies in, and just in case I want to have the tools there. I don't feel like getting creative in my own home if I can afford it. But the plunger was there because December we used it. And then I had to use it again. So now I know whenever he comes by the next time, I'm just moving the plunger there. I'm moving the plunger and all my other tools to that bathroom because it's inevitable now. He's the Thanos of toilets. If I'm using this toilet, I'm clogging this toilet. And if you give me any lip, I'm going to bury you in litigation and serve you justice and then make you unclog my toilet. And that's what he'll do. That's what he'll do. And you know what? Good for him. Good for him because he doesn't have to unclog his own toilets anymore. He's got a guy. And it's me and my mom. So that was our trip. Enjoyable trip back. I'll miss them. It was great to be up there for nearly 2 months. And I'm looking forward to making more money, growing Spearhead so I can fly up more often, spend more time with them. But that's all I got to say about that. Before we go, very quickly, the big three, the 3 pillars to staying strong and being a better, happier, kinder, healthier, less stressed, more genuine human being, being able to spread that positivity and goodness to all those around you throughout the land. Number 1, exercise every day. Do something every day to improve your health and fitness physically, mentally, or emotionally. Number 2, the hardest one to do, don't be a shitty person or negative person, be a kind person. When the opportunity arises to act on your negative emotions and be shitty and mean, even if somebody deserves it, take the LPDS step back, detach from those negative emotions, remove yourself from the situation. That way you'll be minimizing the negativity going on in the world around you, and you'll have the capacity to go focus on more positive, productive things in your lives like exercising. Number 3, the most important one, be genuinely thankful and grateful for all the good you have in your lives. And you could do this by thinking about one good thing in your life or one good thing that happened to you in the last 24 hours. And think about what your life would be like without that. How boring would my weekend have been in my trip if I did it solo without JPL3, without getting a chance to hang out with my old man? I wouldn't trade that in for anything. So stuff like that will immediately put you in a state of gratitude. And when the more you're in a state of gratitude, the easier it becomes to remove yourself from the negative so that you can go focus on more positive, productive things in your lives. And if you do these 3 things a little bit and a little bit more and a little bit more each and every day, I promise you'll be a better, happier, kinder, healthier, less stressed, more genuine human being, be able to spread that positivity and goodness to all those around you throughout the land. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe and put your notifications on and tell your friends and enemies and hit that hotline 202-670-1114. Tell your enemies and friends about the hotline too so that we can get hotline calls on this show. We might even be able to play some on the stream. I don't know how I'll be able to figure that out, but it would be cool if we get some hotline calls that we can also do on the stream, on the live stream too, one of these days. But give it a call, 202-670-1114. Thank you guys again. I love you all. Stay strong.